Now, obviously a lot of talk this week about the Maroons and maybe a lack of loyalty. Is that how it's been received up there in Queensland?
Well, I can't see how that's become a storyline. I mean, we've only got one debutant. New South Wales have got three. And that was Reece Walsh. He came into the side to play fullback. Clearly, Kalen Ponga has had a checkered start to the season. Billy was worried about his welfare. He'd been sort of watching Reece Walsh for a while. Reece has been very close to making his debut for Queensland before. And then everyone else in that 17, 18 players has been there and done it for Queensland in the past. So this whole pick and stick thing that seems to have risen its ugly head down south of the border just seems old and tired now, Braith.
Hey, Benny, it's Gordy. Obviously, at the Broncos, you had to try to sign 30 players, but now you've got to sign one. And is Billy Slater on the hit list? And when are we going to get his signature, mate?
Well, I think very cleverly, Billy wanted to postpone any negotiations about his future until after the series. Clearly, if he wins another series, my job's going to get a tad harder than if he doesn't do any good. But look, expectations are, based on what we saw last year, Billy's going to be better again this year. He's a young coach, but he's got a brilliant mind. He's come out of a good system under a fantastic coach in Craig Bellamy and has learned a whole stack about how to bring a group together. Let's not forget that Origin team he was part of under Mel Meninga, you know, so he's got the kind of X's and O's, the leadership elements. I saw him speak on the stage yesterday, and you could have heard a pin drop in the interview, just how well he connected the past, you know, all those great Queensland players and series that had gone before this one with the future, and spoke about how they were going to play without giving too much away. And you just know that those players are in good hands over the next couple of months. So we'll let him get through this next phase, come out the other side with a victory, fingers crossed, and then we'll sit down and start to do a deal.
Ikin, we always said it, you have dead set taken to this CEO role like a duck to water, but just take us back over the course of the last 18 months. You've spent a couple of years inside the Brisbane Broncos, and some of those Broncos players that have now won Queensland selection, so Selwyn Cobbo, Reece Walsh, Tom Flegler. Can you give us a bit of an insight into the Pat Carrigans and those blokes?
It's been amazing to see, you know, how Kevy took over that club, you know, when it was at its lowest ebb, you know, brought a team of young guys together, taught them, coached them, led them, you know, turned them into a quality team. And the benefits of that are that those individuals inside that team find their way into rep footy sides. Pat Carrigan was a classic example last year, almost coming out of nowhere off the back of a knee reconstruction and winning the Wally Lewis medal. It was just, you know, otherworldly, the rise. And so, you know, Selwyn makes his debut. We've got Reece there for the first time this year. Tommy Flegler is one of my favourites. He's sort of part Gordon Tallis, part Shane Webke, if you can believe that. He's got the worst and the best of both of them. But, you know...
Yeah, he's got Webby's red hair.
Kind of, I've kind of lived this theory for a long time, at least. I believe it to be true, is that all champion teams have a sort of critical mass of players that are very coachable, turn up and do what they're told, and then a sprinkling of players that can do things you can't coach. Well, Cobbo and Walsh fit into the do things you can't coach category, and Pat Carrigan and Tom Flegler, they take instructions well and they will go out there and die for Queensland. Both highly intelligent, know how to get the job done, and then when the big moments are required, when the game's on the line and you're looking for something brilliant, that's where Selwyn and Reece will come into play. So I'm really happy for the four of them, and Kevy Walters should be especially happy, you know, knowing the role that he's played in their journey towards the game's jewel in the crown.
In your new role, Benny, obviously State of Origin is such a focus for all of us. It creates all the headlines, but what are your focus areas, I guess, long-term in your role?
Well, yeah, it's a multi-layered business, Mick. You know, it starts in the back of Western Queensland, 6-year-old boys and girls, and sort of goes all the way through to this thing we're going to be consumed by over the next couple of months. So I guess my role, you know, is to give the support to Tony Norris and Billy Slater through this Origin period to make sure that they're getting everything they need to beat New South Wales. And then beyond that, just remind the NRL and the Australian Rugby League Commission how important grassroots and community football is. Up here in Queensland, off the back of a few changes to the way the game gets played in the junior and community level, we've seen participation rise last year 5%. It's up 9% this year, year on year. So good things are happening, but with that growth, you know, you put pressure on fields, you know, change rooms, referees, and so to keep pace with the growth in the game, you need extra money. So that's why I'll be on a plane next week and catching up with the CEO of the NRL, Mr. Andrew Abdo, for breakfast to fight the case.
Hey, Ikin, mate, it's Gordy again. I've just jumped into the seat. You were here for so long. Do you have any tips, mate? I'm only on my second week. Can you give me something?
I would say be careful what advice you take from Phil Rothfield on Monday nights.
Yeah, Manny, that's not fair, mate.
If you're looking for a good feed, get next door to the North Sydney TAFE and they make a great eggplant toasted sandwich. My mate Joe and just don't let hoops drag you into bagging the West Tigers, okay? Let's get the old hoops.
Oh, good on you, Benny. It's been great having you back on the show, mate. You look like you're really enjoying that new job with the QRL, and good luck for the rest of the week.
Thanks, gents.
There he is, Benny Ikin. Great to have him back, and he was on fire too. Look really happy in that new role. I think he's going to do a great job. And let's get back to the footy now. The Blues talking points. Boxing, Firebrands is Cattle Dog going to make a comeback. I hear they've been boxing at training. The big boys have been at it. Spud's been smashing the you-know-what out of them.
10 years ago, the punch got banned. So what are they doing?
Was it that long ago? Was it 10 years? When was Gal and Nate Miles? Is that a decade ago?
Yeah, Hoops, where have you been for the last 10 years, mate? I've been on 360. I've been rehearsing for the... No, but you know what I mean? So, like, then I get it, and they thought they got bullied last year. They didn't. They got beaten on the scoreboard. New South Wales didn't get bullied. The two guys that had to fight aren't even playing. Burton and Gagai aren't playing. So... Well,
Tino is. Tino's still in there.
Mate, he went in there to stop the fight.
Well, he did a fair job throwing some punches.
Okay, well, he might have thrown one or two.
In all seriousness, no, Gordy,
I love it. It's great theatre.
I like the fact that New South Wales have tried to tap into one of their spiritual leaders, who was Tommy Raudonikis, and we all know and remember what a colourful character and a larrikin and how much Tommy gave to the game. And he created that cattle dog cry in the 1997 series. We remember Jamie Goddard and Joey going at it. I think Spud dropped one of the other Queensland front rowers at the time. And I think I wouldn't be surprised, Gordy, and I know the punch is now banned, but we saw fireworks in last year's series. And often we do see in State of Origin that it's refereed differently. It wouldn't stun me whatsoever. I'm not saying I condone it.
It's refereed different, but it's not refereed if you throw a punch, you're going to the sin bin.
Well, no, if you do throw a punch, you will go to the sin bin. But I'm saying I don't think that necessarily means that there won't be a blue, right, given what's at stake and given the way that the Blues have embraced this narrative that they know they were physically manhandled in Game 3 of the series last year. I like the fact that they've embraced this.
The way that series ended has not sat well with the Blues players. You can speak to them, they're open about it, and that they've carried it with them for the last couple of months, and it is a focal point of them not to get manhandled, not to get bullied, and to set the tone aggressively in Game 1.
Yeah. Well, Freddie's picked a team that's, he said, gambling, rolling the dice, physical, but you've still got to play within the rules, or else you're going to cost your team, right? But you can expect some fireworks still either way. They don't need to be throwing punches to see fireworks.
Oh, look, you're guaranteed that it's going to ignite out there on Wednesday night. We know from the history of State of Origin, this bloke has been involved in
I should be asking you the question.
plenty of flashpoint moments. I'll tell you what I want to ask both was from a playmaker's perspective. Like, there's been a lot of focus on how Queensland were so physically dominant, but doesn't that come back to your key position playmakers being able to play off the back foot? How important is that?
Oh, it's obviously important, and I think that's why they've gone with Coruscant, and they want to try and get that spine right. We've spoken about it the last few nights, but Dave Riccio said it last night. Everyone always underestimates the forwards and the impact of going forward and dominating the opposition in the middle of the field. That creates momentum. That gives your halves more time and space. Whoever normally wins that battle, especially combine that with the back five.
But can't the best, like say over the years, whether it was Joey Johns, Alfie Langer, Wally Lewis, those blokes were able to play
They
off the
were.
back foot.
They were. It's obviously not
Only a few.
preferable, but there's not many that can. You know, there's not many that can.
Yeah, I think New South Wales are overthinking it. In a way, the last 3 series they've scored more points.
Here comes the mind games.
No.
I think they've
So if
simplified
they
it.
scored, I think 66 points in in last year's series, Queensland win 50. You got to win the moments, right? So it's not about the points; it's the moments. And they won a lot of moments, just not at the right time. So what they're planning to do, they've got to do for 80 minutes. That's the key. And blokes like Pangai that can't play 80 minutes. So if they get injuries, he can't play 80
Payne
minutes.
Haas has got a fair motor for a front row.
They won't need to
But
be
you still got to do
great.
it for 80 minutes. So they're 3 big guys, right? Do it for 80 minutes. And
Huss
I
can
doubt
go
it if they
big minutes.
can.
Yo can go big minutes. Cam Murray can go big
They're
minutes.
not the big guys.
Yeah, but Yo's going to be in the middle of the field. Payne Haas, if he needed to, he could
he's
stump
good.
up 80
He's got a
minutes.
great motor.
Something that stood out to me there, Gordy, was moments, and you're right. Because in Origin, you don't get as many moments or opportunities as you do in a club game, do you? And those the best players that have ever played our game, they ice those moments on the big stage, don't they?
Yeah.
You know, JT, Cooper Cronk, Wally Lewis, Brad Fittler, Laurie Daly, Brad Clyde. There's a limited amount of opportunities because of the quality of players on both teams, right?
And the great players, they keep on going to the moment and it's not there. But it's when you don't go there, you miss the moment. So you've got to just be prepared to go there and miss out on the moment all the time. But someone like Jonathan Thurston say, well, why did he get so many moments? Because he went every time.